Hi everyone and welcome back to the Brick Pods. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I figured this week, as I'd shown you last week, what we've done with the 3-in-1 castle build, the medieval castle 31120, that I would give you a review of the set today. So there's 3 different builds to it in the actual set, and we've built all 3, so I can show you what they all look like. So I'll do that first, and then maybe I'll talk a little bit about other options for this set, because it is actually a really versatile set. So come back at the end for a few more details on that. So this is the main build from the set. It's a very square looking castle. It's got sort of the 4 corners and then walls between. It's quite attractive. I quite like the colouring, although maybe not the yellow. The yellow is maybe a bit too bright for me. So it comes with some play features. You've got the interactive drawbridge, which completely closes if you don't have a person in the way. I like the banners on the side. I think that makes it look very regal. And it's got the Black Falcon shields all over. It's on like a water base. And then sort of the bottom half is kind of green, as if it's kind of gone all mossy. The tree on the side is very blocky looking. I'm not overly keen on the tree. It's got some good height. Ian built this and he said that it built up really quickly. And it doesn't have the old style sort of castle big pieces from when he was younger, but it does have like bigger bricks, so like the panel pieces to build it up. And he says, I was wondering whether that was a good thing or a bad thing, but he said it was good because it means you can see progress quickly. Got a water wheel on the side. I like that. I'm a big fan of water wheels. And then each section sort of is clipped together. You can pull it apart for access to inside and take it completely apart for even more access. So on the inside you've got like a little blacksmith area, and the water wheel actually turns the hammer on that. Ian doesn't think that works very well. I have to say I agree with him. It's kind of works, but it's a bit rubbish. Little throne room up there, and there's some extra armour. The dungeon has got a skeleton inside, which is a bit confusing because on the outside of the dungeon there is actually a way to break the person out. So clearly this person was in the dungeon and they didn't have any friends because no one let them out. You got the keep up the top here, looks pretty good. Then like a little market inside here as well. A couple of pieces missing from where my daughter's been playing, like a baguette and some other vegetables. Then that's the inside of the main part, and there's not really much in that bit. It's kind of lacking somewhat in interior details. Comes with a brick built dragon. He's not bad, but I feel like he needs some arms. Comes with quite a few animals. You've got the chickens down here. Then there's a little brick built mouse as well. At the top, I think this is a raven. And then there's also a crow and some other bird. I'm not sure what this bird is meant to be. But it's a good variety of little brick built animals. Okay, so here is the next model that you can make with the 3-in-1 medieval castle. So this one seems like a very linear build, but it does fold, so you can make it slightly more angled. It's got a couple of side builds, which we'll come back to, but I really like this flag detail here. I think that looks really nice. And you've got the height of this turret here, so that's good. Really nice detailing around it. You've got a little, I think it might be a bar actually, because you've got a barrel here with a sort of on tap, maybe some cheese, a little oven. Maybe it's a pizza house. probably not a pizza house. And then you've got the sort of water detail under the arch there. Then on the side, you've got a windmill. We have got a piece missing from the windmill, so it spins a bit better, I think, if you've got all the pieces. But it's still pretty fun. And there is where you've sort of got the yellow tower. Add that sort of colour in. And then if I turn it round, what have we got on the other side? We've got the little jail, which every castle needs. This is actually meant to be a template. Ian built it wrong and put the template on here. So just ignore the fact that that's it's meant to be a dark template. Little door into this room here. Nothing really inside. There's the spinner for the windmill. So pretty bare walls. Little set of stairs. Nothing amazing. If you close it up, it doesn't really have the right shape. What's the flags? I mean, this can overextend a little bit, so it's not making a square. I don't know if you're meant to close it up. I think it's meant to be lengthways, but it's not bad. And I think if you had maybe 3 of these and sort of connected them up to make a big castle walls, that'd be a huge castle. But I think you'd need something a bit grander at the front. So 3 around the side and then the big grand gatehouse kind of thing. That would work. So here are the side builds. You've got like a little stand. This is meant to have the breastplate on. I did find that and then I've lost it again. So never mind. But yeah, sort of nice stripy detail at the top. Armour, spear. Just a little stand. And then the tree with some archery practice on there. Got a little mushroom, a couple of birds. That's always a fun thing in these creative 3-in-1 sets, is the birds tend to be different between the builds, but you always seem to get birds. So yeah, that's quite nice. Right, on to the next one. Okay, so this is the final build with the 3-in-1 medieval castle. Ian built the catapult, trebuchet I think it is, and he's been trying to launch me, which I feel is a little mean. I don't really appreciate that. It's because we've actually lost the bucket that goes on the end, so there should be a bucket on the end of here that would then launch some things. So it seems we started with the side build. It's not a bad little build. You've got sort of the weighted part that flings things. Yeah, like I say, there should be a bucket, and then you've got a little target as well with a barrel that you can knock off if you get it aimed correctly. So that's quite a sweet little side build. But the main build is this tower, and this is the one that Ian actually wants to keep, which is why we built this one last. It's actually quite nice. It's got some weirdness to it. So at this side, the back, you've got some little walls that kind of just fold in and out. I don't know if that's because you can extend it and get another one to attach, but it's weird, but it doesn't look out of place, so it's not too strange. You've got a little cell at the bottom. I think that every single build has come with a little cell. Every castle needs a jungle. Every castle needs a dungeon. This level is pretty plain. That's where the doors are. You've got a little, I think we think it's a phoenix build there. And that has like a little perch in there that you can sit it on. So that's quite sweet. And then you've got a little room up the top here. Little book that's open and a telescope coming out of the window. And then I guess this is where you would put the archers, right at the very, very top. And then a flag right at the top. So it's pretty nicely made. I think this one is quite a clever technique. That kind of looks a little bit like a dragon head or some sort of animal head. So kind of gargoyle-y. But I think it's made so simply. Such a easy technique. You've got a little secret passage here that sort of tips up. Little side in the rock, which is quite cool. The bridge is nice. little steps up over the little bit of water. So it's kind of got everything you want, but then in a tall detail, and that's why Ian likes it, because he's going to build a 7-in-1 castle, if you haven't been paying attention to the channel. So he is just going to use this on one side and then some of the other castles that we've built as other pieces. There you go. This bit's looking a little like it's been attacked already. Not ideal. It still brings in the colour of the yellow, but is a little more subtle with it, so you've not got as much yellow, which I think is possibly why this looks nicer. There's that little slit there for the archers. That's the best way to avoid getting attacked yourself whilst still being able to attack people. So yeah, I think this might be my favourite one as well. I think Ian likes this one. And so this is what you should see end up in the city. So as promised, I have some recommendations if you want to change up this set a little. So if you head over to Rebrickable, there are 3 different options I'm going to recommend now based on my personal preference. So if you have just got one copy of this set and you want to change it up and do something different, then there is the Japanese medieval castle alt build by Stonewall Bricks that looks really good. You end up with sort of a castle fortress and then like a Japanese looking building on top. I think it's really fun. So I would recommend that if you're looking for an alt build for the set. If you've purchased 2 of the medieval castle sets, then you can put them together to make a bigger castle. That's by Brick Type. That one looks pretty good. And that one looks to me like it's vaguely taking all 3 of the sort of designs and putting them all in together, because you can see very clearly the front gatehouse and then the tower build as well in that model. So I think that's a good way of using all of the techniques and having a big castle at the end. And then if you want to go extra and buy 3 of these, then there's the medieval fortress build, which uses 3 sets to create a very detailed castle build essentially, and it looks really good. So those are my 3 recommendations on Rebrickable. You could also do what Ian and I have done, which I showed you last week, which is create a 7-in-1 random project with all the castles you ever owned and see how that turns out. I think it's looking really good for us. So let's have a quick recap of that. We're going to head up and do a Jubilee part now, just given it's the Jubilee weekend, and head up into the Lego room to get another view of that 7-in-1 castle project that we're doing. So as it's the Queen's Jubilee this weekend, I'm going to open up my Hamley's Royal Guard as well as part of this video and pop him in the castle, given that's where that castle that I've just reviewed has ended up. So let's get him open. There he is, and he's going up here, and I think we'll put him outside the gates, just there. There he is. And there's the castle. No progress since last week because Ian's decided to work on the coral reef instead. But yeah, I think he looks pretty good there. And happy 70th Jubilee to the Queen. So thanks for joining me today. If you are in the UK, enjoy the rest of your extended holiday weekend. Everyone else, have a great weekend anyway. Leave us a comment on what you think of the 3-in-1 castle set. Which of the 3 builds do you like, and which of the alternative builds on Rebrickable do you like the most? If you want to see more of our 7-in-1 castle project, then I'll link up last week's city update. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an update. See you later!